when you are given a word problem, the first thing you need to do is define a variable. And this is something that in our warm-up, none of us did because we didn't think we needed to, right? But what I mean by that, if we are going to set up an equation where we have an unknown, we need to actually write down what the unknown was. So what were we trying to solve for in that warm-up example? Okay, so what I would want you to do is I want you to write X is the amount before the deposit. Okay, that way when we solve for X, oh yeah, that's what it means. Now, I know right now it's going to seem kind of tedious. However, tomorrow we're going to be doing problems that require 2 steps to solve, and it's really going to help us when we have more math involved. Okay? Now, once you establish what your variable means, you're going to set up your equation, you're going to solve it, and then you're going to make sure you answer the question. So some of you just wrote 367. Well, what does that mean? That means $367 before the deposit. Answer the question they're giving you by labeling your answer. Okay? Hey, what do you notice about number 1? You already did this one. Okay? But I want to walk through the motions. Even though this is the one from your warm-up, this is what I expect from you when you do these problems by yourself. Number 1, I want you to underline important information. So Connor deposited $84. That's important. I'm going to underline it. Blah, 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 blah. His new balance is $451. That's important. Okay. And then it asks a question. What was his balance before the deposit? So that question is telling us this is what you need to solve for. Okay? Now we can choose any variable we want to. Do you have a particular letter you would like to use? M. M? M for money? So M is going to represent the amount of money before our deposit. Okay? So number 1, I'm looking for you to write down what your variable means. Okay? Number 2, I am looking for your equation. We have money. We deposit $84, so I'm going to add $84. And now my balance is $451. I need to see the equation. Right now, you've shown me you're pretty good at solving these equations, okay? I need to see that you wrote the equation. Now we can solve it, okay? I know some of you can figure out 367 without writing the equation. I get that, but the whole purpose is writing the equation to solve, okay? So we need to undo our addition by subtracting 84 to both sides to get M equals 367, okay? So let's talk about what that means. We have $367 before our deposit. That is the answer to the question they asked. How do you feel about that? Okay. The biggest thing, the biggest challenge we are going to face is just figuring out how to set up the equation. Okay. Let's look at this next one and let's decide what needs to be underlined. Okay. 6 adult tickets to a movie at the theater cost $52.50. Find the price for 1 ticket. Yeah. Definitely an old example here. Okay, so what are some things that are going to be important to underline? 6 adult tickets. What else? Cost $52.50. Did you just spray that?
No.
I can smell it. Put it away, please. Find the price for one ticket. That's what we're trying to find. What letter would you like to use?
T.
Okay, T is our variable, and T stands for what?
Ticket.
Ticket?
One ticket.
How about the price
Oh.
per ticket? That's fine. T for ticket price. Okay, so now we need to decide how to use T along with 6 and 52.50 to write our equation. So one number is going to be with the T and one number is not going to be with the T. What's the one number that's going to be like our equal to? 52.50 is going to be our, okay, that's our total price. That's what we're going to equal. Okay. Now, if I buy 6 tickets at T dollars per ticket, what am I going to do with 6 and T to get 52.50? Okay. 6 times T. Let me give you this example. You go to the store. Well, you go to McDonald's, and French fries are $2 each. You buy 5 French fries. What's your total?
30.
30.
Or what'd he say?
2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2 times 5 is 10. Okay. Okay, so this is important that we write this equation. Now, let's solve it. What are we going to do to solve it? Okay, we need to undo the multiplication by dividing by 6. Ugh. Some of you grabbed a calculator. 52.5 divided by 6. Elaine, what you got? 8.75. Now, not always do we love having decimal answers, but does it make sense in this case? Do you have a pass? Do you have a pass? We're like 10 minutes into class, buddy. Where have you been?
I was with Miss Owen.
Miss Owen?
Yeah.
Okay. Have a seat. Okay. Okay, does a decimal answer sound okay in this case? Yeah, because we're talking about winning. Let's go back. What does T represent? Cost per ticket. So it is $8.75 per adult ticket. And if you write just ticket, that's fine. I feel like this must be a Tuesday movie, huh? Tuesdays are cheaper. $8.75 is it's like $7 now. Yeah. And like going to a movie on like a not Tuesday is like 12, 13, 14. It makes me sad. Well, going by yourself is not bad. Going with your family, a little rough. All right, let's talk about number 3. Can you read through number 3 and just underline the important information for me? Okay. What's important? 3/4 of the 8th grade class. Okay. What else is important? 252 students. We are trying to figure out how many 8th graders there are. Landon, what do you want our variable to be? I'm asking Landon. Okay. Z equals number of 8th graders. Okay. Now, three-fourths of the 8th graders go on a trip. What does that of word mean? Multiplication. 3/4 of the 8th grade class go on a trip. So if I take the total number of 8th graders, multiply it by 3/4, we're on page 10, buddy. We should get 252. Okay? It is very important that you have this right here. Now, we got to remember how to solve this bad boy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know.
How do we undo this 3/4? I love that Kaylee raised her hand, but I also love the vocabulary that was being dropped. Would you summarize that for me?
So basically you put 251 over 1 and then you like flip or
Yeah. The reciprocal is how we undo this guy right here. Okay. To get Z equals 252 times 4. 1008 over 3. What happens when we divide that by 3? Okay. We got an answer of 336. Does that make sense?
Wait, no, it does not.
Why? Okay, I want you to think about your Okay, how many of you are going to Washington, D.C.? Interesting, not the whole class.
no.
There are 336 8th graders, but only 252 of them went on the class trip. That makes sense. Okay, not everybody's going to go. So 336, what does that represent? It represents the number of 8th graders. All right, one more?
Sure.
One more. Read through it.
Is that water in there?
Yeah?
No, it's soda.
Sure?
Ice cold or like?
Didn't you watch me pour it into my cup from my fridge?
No, that's kind of
have a
behind my
fridge in
head,
here?
and I can put my neck far
That
enough.
brown thing right there?
Oh, I thought that was a cabinet.
It's a really old fridge. All right. Ooh, after falling 23 degrees, the temperature is now 51 degrees. Guys, we're almost there. Very soon, 51 will be the high. What is the starting temperature? What'd you say?
I hate that. So
I like warm. Okay. Landon with an I. What letter should we use for our variable? T. For our starting temperature, I like T for temperature. All right. So now, after falling 23 degrees, the temperature is now 51. Falling. What operation do you think we're going to use in our equation? What'd you say? Subtraction. If we take our temperature and then it falls 23 degrees, we would have T minus 23. Ooh, it's not 51. Or it's not 52, it's 51. Sorry about that. Okay, here is the equation I'm looking for you to set up. I know that you can logic your way through, I need to add 23 to 51, but I need to be able to see you set up the equation. We get, yes, T equals 74, right? Okay, but answer the problem. We start at 74 what?
Degrees.
Degrees.
Then that's the answer.
Yes. What I don't want is you just circling 74. 74 what? I found room and I'm writing big.
We have to say
If you say 74 degrees, I'm going to be pretty happy. Just make sure you put the dollar sign, the degree sign, people, bunnies, bubbles, whatever you're counting. Kaylee and Landon and Jacob Tanner and Amari, please listen. Whatever you are finding, make sure it gets labeled. Okay? Now, I will tell you that your homework are the next 8 problems. Maybe you circle them so you know those are the ones you need to do. Now, I will tell you right now that number 9, you will need to use the fact that distance equals rate times time. Have you heard that before?
If I did, I forgot.
So distance equals rate times time. So distance, miles, rate is like your speed, okay? What I must see your variable, your equation, and then your answer.
But what if we already know answer? Like, where's the answer?
I